Hello everyone, and welcome to my new Let's Look At. Today we're going to be looking at Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. And as you see here, this is in a very early version of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, so things are subject to change in the future. As you can see, it's in the open alpha, but this game is so addictive and simple yet also complex at the same time. I don't know how the audio is going to sound on my end. It's very loud, but usually it ends up being not so loud in the when I'm editing, so let's get right on into it. We're going to be starting at level 1 because I'm quite honestly not smart enough to get through level 6 quite yet. And this fits the purpose of what I'm going to show you how to actually play the game. So this is what you're going to be doing spending most of your time on. You know, the whole setting up the battlefield kind of thing. You can use the WASD to, of course, move the camera around so you can get a better view of the battlefield. And these are your enemies. You are, I think, always red. So for those of on the blue side and red versus blue, I guess you're kind of screwed so far. But it's not a big thing. Now what you're seeing here is the setup screen. This is where you're going to be doing all of your, well, gaming. When the battle starts, you just kind of sit back and hope people don't die, basically. All in all, it's a pretty accurate simulation of being a general, really. I mean, you just kind of set your people up where you want them to be and hope they don't die, really. It's pretty accurate, really. So, there's many ways you can do this. You can just kind of spam cheap, but also fairly high health people and just kind of ram them all down. That's what I did the first time because I didn't know what I was doing. Also, because you're rather limited on money the first time, it's really one of the more effective ways. But just for effectiveness sake, we're going to show exactly how the battle system even works. And to back them up, of course, as you can see, there's units from all over the timelines and places around the world over, ranging from thieves, footmen, archers, ballista, and catapults. The numbers above are how much money that it takes to deploy them. Some of them are better against certain units. Of course, shield units are kind of to hold the line, but they're not really... They don't have a lot of health, which I wonder about. You'd think they'd have like a lot of health and they'd be like there to hold the line. And some of them are super or ninja masters, samurai masters. They have more health, speed, and then you get all the way to the miscellaneous, and this is where things kind of get a little wacky at times. Of course, you got your peasants, your barbarians, your farmers, boxers, which I'm not sure why they're in front of farmers. They have the pitchforks, but I guess their lethal weapon is their fists. And then you start getting to the little zany things like Chicken Man, Hilary Clinton, Donald Trump. For some reason an M16 I never really noticed before. Super Boxer, Chicken Man, Super Peasant, and Dark Peasant. Do note, I don't think you'll be able to use a lot of these until later levels because you don't give you the money to do so. But for this particular battle, I prefer to use... I'm one of those guys that likes to have a front line and then have someone in the back line shooting over them. Just because that's the way I've always been taught. That's how battles go, you know, so... That's the way we're gonna do it. I also like the muskets, but we don't have enough money for that. Well, we do, but they're really, really slow. And you know what? Why not throw a few peasants in there for cannon fodder? That makes sense, right? And then once you hit start, it's all up to your strategy and how you planned it. You can control the camera during this. Now, as you might notice, the animations are not what you would call particularly lifelike. They're not supposed to be. But it does have strategy. It is very difficult in the later levels, in my opinion. That's also because I suck at strategy. But as you can see, this is basically what you do. You set up. You can be as strategic as you want. If your strategy is good, you win. If your strategy sucks, well, you lose. Another good thing is if you do lose, it's not like you're penalized with money like from next match. It's just you try again. There's no real penalty for losing other than you lost. Which, I mean, I'm a big proponent of consequences, but in a game like this, it would just be out of place to do so, in my opinion. Now, some of the more fun, units are like the barrel roller. You might picture like Donkey Kong throwing barrels down a ramp, but that's not quite. I learned that the hard way. They actually are like lumberjacks on top of the barrel, and then they roll them into the into the enemy and they explode into a big fiery field of, well, inferno. Also, there's very, very much friendly fire in this game. I learned this when I had a big line a la Braveheart, and then I had a cannon crew behind them, and they kind of just blew the crap out of my own front line, and then, well, as you might imagine, everything went to hell after that, so something to keep in mind. There are, like I said, there are strategic things you can do. You can line up things and then have a cannon crew shoot between them. The problem is, cannon crew can and will turn. So if the enemy's over here and your line's here, they'll shoot right through your line. So it's kind of hard to use the cannon crew efficiently, but man, do they cause a lot of destruction if they can get a clear shot. So yeah, you can kind of see how it is. Samurai, I never used Taekwondo, but I'm assuming that's somewhat similar to the headbutter, except they have a lot less health. I'm not... What's their attack speed? Okay, their attack speed's a lot faster, that's why. So yeah, everything has an attack speed, which obviously I think the lower it is, the better, like you attack faster. At least I'd imagine. Let's look at the musket. Yeah, the musket's 6 seconds, so I mean, they're really powerful when they do shoot, but it takes a while for them to shoot. As opposed to, say, the archers, who, you know, fire more than twice as fast. So, I mean, I don't think they do as much damage. It takes like 2 or 3 arrows as opposed to the one musket shot, but... This caters to all people, whether you want to be... say, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Pro Gamer and just want to find the best formations to maximum, you know, killing efficiency, all the way to people who just want to make a Braveheart rendition and just have a bunch of swordsmen, you know, go at each other. You can do either one. Whether they'll work or not, I'm not going to guarantee. So let's throw some ninjas in here. Why not throw some... what's the... Where are they at? Is it Vikings that have the... Yeah, there we go. Throw some spear throwers in there, get some variety going. I don't have enough money for a hwacha. That's a beautiful, beautiful weapon, I might add. I saw in Mythbusters. That's pretty much the only reason I know of it, I'm not gonna lie. Throw some muskets in there. Like I said, I like having a front line and then a back line. It's the way warfare is meant to be. Well, back in them days, anyway. I don't really want to have... I can't have Chicken Man anyway. Yeah, sure, let's throw some Vikings in there. We don't want to forget our Nordic brethren. I don't think that's how you say Nordic, but that's the way it's spoken now. And let's get going. I don't think this is going to hold up all that well, but we'll see. Actually, that went probably the best of all battles I've ever had, so I'm... This is probably one of the harder battles in the first area. Just because you have to either spread your forces so thin, and the shields are kind of hard to break through. Each level gives you unique challenges. Obviously, you need a lot of units because there's a lot of ground to cover in this one, so they give you more money. This will probably be my last showing of this particular thing here, just because I don't want to go on forever and a day, you know, playing through all the levels. This is mainly just to give you a taste of what to expect if you do play this. I never used the spearmen yet, so let's... I don't think the spearmen are good. I think the spearmen are mainly for, like, if they have a horse, like cavalry, but you know what? It will work. Win or lose, this is going to be funny anyway. So let's get some samurai here. I don't think samurai are too good against giant shields, considering katanas are... You know what? No, I'm sure they'll be fine. They can just pull out that giant mace thing that they use. I forget the name of it. And then just smash the shield to pieces, right? I also might have watched too much Deadly Warrior in my day. Even if they did get the results wrong half the time, in my opinion. So... no, well, axes are not that bad. They're slow to use, but they do have a lot of health, but they don't seem to last all that long. I think the way I did this before was just by getting a bunch of muskets and then just putting them behind my front line and just laid waste to everybody. So let's see if that works. It should. I mean, they take a long time to fire, but I don't have enough for that. Nope, I don't have enough for it. So Somebody's gonna get a extra frontliner to compensate, and it's gonna be you, gentlemen. There we go. I don't think this is gonna work all that well, but let's see. I'm not a very good strategist, especially when I'm trying to talk and remain coherent at the same time. Gonna need a very, very top-down view for this one. Yeah, I don't think this is going particularly well. I think last time I only survived by like 2 musketeers, but it's going a bit better. Just like a shooting fish in a barrel at this point. That went pretty good. Oh yes. Now, like I said, that was going to be the end of this Let's Look At, but as you can see, the vague thing, set your units up, and then just let them go. You ever want to be a general? Set up your units and then just kind of hope they don't die, basically. Of course, there are, you know, strategies you can employ that I haven't come up with because I'm not a very good tactical planner. But I look forward to seeing videos on this on YouTube of people far more intelligent than I am giving, you know, good strategies. So that's going to be it for today, guys. And by the way, if you're wondering where can I get this game, I'll put it in the description below where I found it. And you might have to wait a little while because sometimes I think the servers they use on Mega, I think it is not Mega Upload, but Mega. Anyway, they use that website. And sometimes you can get a little overloaded, but you should be able to get it if you try again, you know, and like the next day or whatever. So, you know, be patient. And I really love this game. I can't wait for the full game to come out because this, I may suck at it, but you know, darned if it isn't fun. So thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you next time. Farewell, everyone. Until then.